Back to the freaking channel, Walking on Water. In today's episode, we have all these ingredients in front of us, and today we're gonna talk about how I brine up my herring, anchovies, and even prawns for Chinook salmon and the occasional steelhead. Next week, I have a giant Chinook salmon derby up here on Lake Coeur d'Alene, so what not a better time to talk herring and anchovies. Stay tuned, let's get into the ingredients. I'll explain it. We'll get this done. All right, guys, so first off, let's start out with the meat and potatoes of the herring, AKA the herring or anchovies. I always like to use a premium select bait. Obviously, it's up to you guys what kind of bait. The fresher the bait, the better. So, I mean, obviously, if you're on the coast, go pick up some fresh bait. That's probably obviously gonna be the best. Throw it on ice, and then you can brine it out as you will. But I don't live next to the ocean, so I always go with Jerry's baits. And I always go with the premium select. They've always done me really well in the past, and the baits seem to hold up a little bit longer. So I've got herring, red label, premium select, okay? I got my container, my jug that I'm gonna brine them in. I got BRINE N BiTE right here. This does come with instructions on the inside, but I will go over everything and drop links in the description below. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share, please. Thank you. And we also have Fire Dye by Potskis. I always like to mix a little ProCure with Potski, so we got the Fire Dye. This time we're gonna go with orange. I have not used orange before. I use a lot of reds, chartreuse, blues, even clear sometimes. We got Morton's kosher salt. It's always good to add a little bit of salt to every brine that you do. It firms and toughens up these baits. You're gonna need 1 tablespoon, so grab your girlfriends, grab your wives, your moms, or go to the store and buy a tablespoon if you don't have one. This is not a spoon that you use to eat cereal with. This is a tablespoon. It's a lot bigger. Even the big spoons are still smaller than this, so you do want a tablespoon to get the exact measurement. And then you're gonna need 1 cup, okay? So we have the ingredients. Let's get to brining this up. Stay tuned. Okay, guys, so first off, open up your herring or your anchovies, okay? For video purposes, I'm just gonna do a couple today. I fish in a couple days. You can actually brine these up a couple days early, let them soak. They're gonna get really firm and they're gonna get almost pruny. But if you take them out of the mixture that they're in, because these are to brine them and firm them up and make them tight so they fish a lot longer. If you take them out of that and you put it in a lighter brine, like a half scoop with water, that will resaturate, they will reabsorb water so you can use them. But for today's video, I'm just gonna do 3. Put these back in here, move these off to the side. So we have our 3, okay? And I'm not doing a big batch, so we're gonna scale everything down to size for you guys. Again, links in the description below, and there is instructions that do come with this BRINE N BiTE by ProCure. So, okay, first things first. What I always do first, you're gonna need 1 cup for water, okay? So we're gonna get a little bit of water in here. You just want enough water that's gonna cover your bait, right? I always lay this on its side. You can see you're gonna need about 1 inch of water in that thing, so I would always just start out with a cup. Cup of water seems absolutely perfect. I would try to use cold water, obviously. You don't wanna go in with a bunch of hot water and start peeling the skin off your bait. So, we've got that in there. Next thing I like to do is add the salt. As everybody knows, salt has been a curing agent for centuries. The Egyptians used it, we've used it, so on and so forth, and now we're using it to brine bait for salmon and steelhead. So, fill this up. We're gonna have 1 tablespoon, just like that. Drop it in your brine, okay? Now, we're gonna do one tablespoon of salt, and then 1 part of the BRINE N BiTE, also a tablespoon. Grab your BRINE N BiTE, dump that in there like so, okay? Now, before we go to the dye portion, let's give this a nice mix, just like this. Okay? See how the water is covering up that bait and the bait is suspended in the water and everything is mixed up perfectly. It's a milky color now, and that's how we know that the mixture has mixed properly into the water. So give it a couple good shakes. Now, When it comes to the dye, obviously, depending on how dark you want the color of your bait fish, I like to just give it a little bit of a glow, a little bit of a shine, so when it is spinning in the water, it gives it a little bit more reflective. I'm not looking to change the whole entire genetic makeup of the bait by dyeing it complete and utterly one color. So we're gonna do a light dye, 3 or 4 or 5 drops, just like so. Then, we don't know if it's dyed properly yet, so we're gonna give it a nice mix, just like that. I'm gonna go 2 or 3 more drops. I want it a little bit darker. Not all the dye is gonna adhere to these fish. Okay, 3 more drops in there like that. Cap it, throw the lid back on. Yeah, all right. Okay, that's a nice color. We've got salt, we've got brine and bite. Now, guys, okay, this needs to sit in the refrigerator for at least 12 hours. The dye will only take 3 to 4 hours to adhere, but the brine and bite and the salt needs that 12 hours. So I'm gonna let this sit overnight. We will check back in the morning and we will see how these bait fish look. We'll pull them out, we'll go over them, and we'll talk about the texture of them and just the toughness overall of the bait and how this will help you guys catch more Chinook salmon and steelhead, as well as allow you to fish these baits even longer. You know, these are $10 a pack, $7.99 some places. You don't want to be out there using 10, 12, 13, 14 a day when you can fish these a little bit longer and still get on the fish. So stay tuned. I will see you guys in the morning. What is up, guys? It is the next freaking day and we are about to pull our brined herring out of the refrigerator. So let's stop wasting time. Let's get at it. Let's get the herring out of the refrigerator. Okay, at first glance, the herring look a little wrinkled, which is good. That means that the brine has adhered. The dye color and everything, the mixture has mixed together a lot more, obviously. It's been sitting in there overnight, roughly 12 to 14 hours so far. So, let's go ahead and get into one of these baits and let's see how it looks. Okay. Yeah, this is what I'm talking about. At first feel, you feel obviously the scales of the fish. You can tell that the skin has shriveled a little bit. So in that, making it more durable. The dye has adhered. It's a nice orange glow. So when this thing's spinning in the water, that, you know, it's gonna shine and push light through the water system so those fish can see this wounded bait fish swimming through the water. I love brining my bait this way, you guys. Realistically, there's a lot of good brines out there. You can go buy a ProCure standard brine. There's Posky's brine out there. I personally make my own brine, as you've seen in this video. It served me well through my years of experience, and I hope it serves you guys well as well. I wish you the best of luck. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share. In the next video, we're gonna talk about the 3 best ways to rig up herring anchovies for Chinook salmon in preparation for this big derby. Hopefully bring home the big one for you guys. Stay tuned. Hey, thank you guys so freaking much for tuning into this episode of Walking on Water, how I brine up my herring or anchovies, even prawns, or any other type of bait that you're gonna be using that's live bait that you wanna brine, but these particularly for Chinook salmon and or steelhead. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. I will catch you in the next one. Like, subscribe, and share. Thank you guys so much. Peace.